So for those of you who don't know, I make fan edits, and I've been working on a fan edit of Beetlejuice, turning it into a dramatic horror or dramatic thriller. I've been working on it for a couple of months, and then this week, they released Beetlejuice in 4K. I've got to scrap all of my work probably and edit it all from the ground up again using the 4K video. But before I do, I had some ideas about what might be revealing now that we can watch it in a higher quality. Let's get down to business. I don't even have a reader in my computer for this kind of a disc. Maybe at a later time I'll get all set up for that, but for now I had to have somebody else do it for me, and this is what we got. So the first thing you're gonna notice about this is the color palette. I don't know how much of this is like because of the ripping process, or this is what it actually looks like. I'm going to assume it still has the proper color grading like the HD did, because this looks really weird, especially in the Afterlife where it's supposed to look really vivid and have all these beautiful colors. It's like black and white. So it's like you're getting more of the raw information of the color in this 4K. This is the first time anything's come out in 4K that I cared this much about, so I just wasn't gonna go and buy the 4K player as well as this disc. I'm excited about this. I wanna see what it looks like. There's the HD, and there's the 4K. Before I even get there, I think they redid the Geffen logo. Like, you see how it's jiggling? And you can see also very noisy. Lots of grain on that. I've never heard the official word on this, but if I had to guess, I would say this was just traditional animation. Just hand-drawn, hand-painted animation of a sphere. 4K version, it just looks really pristine. And if it's 4K, we should see more of the grain, not less of it. I just think they redid it. But let's see what it looks like when it plays. If it still looks jiggly and hand-drawn. First off, the sound is really good. Wow. Oh, wow. Yeah, no, that's like super clean. I don't know. I could be nitpicking myself crazy. But that looks super different. Number one, the moment the opening shot turns into a miniature. You think that you don't realize it's a miniature until the spider shows up at the end. I gotta say, this is a fantastic miniature. Even in the 4K, I thought it was gonna be more apparent, but it is really, it still just looks pretty fantastic. And there's the little people, so this is all a miniature. Dang, that's a good looking miniature. I mean, the thing is, like, this is supposed to be a guy's, you know, essentially like his hobby in his attic, but it was actually made by people who make professional miniatures for movies. So I was wrong. I thought it would be way more obvious when this turns into a miniature, but it is not. Number two! Oh, okay, Adam being perfectly still as they plummet to their death. They're not real people in this car as it falls down. See, first off, he's not leaning out the window and screaming in this shot. Secondly, he's really very, very still. It's unfortunate that they didn't have the wherewithal to like put him in the position that Alec Baldwin was in, because they went through the trouble of having the plank that's holding the car in place. That's there, but that got screwed up. Hey, the bumper sticker! In the original script, there is all this stuff about Adam having he's got like a peach garden, and he feeds a deer, like hand feeds a deer, and then it's, there's hunters who have a bumper sticker that's like, I'm a hunter, and then there's his bumper sticker that's like the opposite of that, which is like, I don't know, I break for deer or something? Okay, as they do, there comes into view a bumper sticker. Warning, I break for animals. I wonder if that's what that bumper sticker is. But that is it, look. That's it. I break for animals. Now you know. Number 3 jokes in Beetlejuice's newspaper. There might not be anything to see here. Exorcism rate soars. Couldn't really make that out in the HD. Let's do scientific stuff. Doesn't look like you could make out the text might have just been there as a placeholder. I gotta wonder, who took this photograph? Who went to Titan and took that photograph? Okay, if I brighten this up and zoom in, say protoplasm leak? Thought about the back. Timber industry withers, mayor appeals, county peace officer. None of these are funny. Yeah, the headlines are clearer, but what's happening here? Some kind of an assault on a cameraman. An assault on the cameraman who took the picture of the sandworm on the Saturn moon of Titan. Oh wait, it zooms in. And then I zoom in some more. You can read it. As a young something, In China, aboard and about. But look at this. In China, Mieko Salto, 61 years old. Aboard and about. Aboard and about. Okay, so it's repeating. The text repeats a lot through it. This is in 1953. She wrote the critically acclaimed guidebook Aboard and About. M-I-E-K-O-S-A-L-T-O. Or that's Saito. That would make more sense, right? She an author? See lots of ladies' legs and butts. Thought there might be some interesting jokes in here, but it is just some article about a Japanese author. Okay, I know somebody who is a librarian.
Oh, it changes colors?
Hello?
Hi, what's up?
So I just got the 4K version of Beetlejuice. It talks about this woman who wrote a book, and I really feel like this has got to be just like a real book that was in a real obituary that they just put in their newspaper. Her name's Mieko Saito. In 1958, it was critically acclaimed guidebook.
So are you trying to find her book?
I want to know if it's a real book and if it really exists.
You should be able to find it on that website I sent you. I should be able to.
What's the website? It's worldcat.org.
Could be on there. Basically, we use this to see if there's books in any of the libraries in the country.
Okay. Mieko Sato, she lived a life, according to this obituary. She was president of the Parent Teachers Association. It was regularly updated through 13 editions and 23 printings.
Okay, so this is out here.
The ironic part is I can't make out the obituary about the characters in the movie at all. Funeral services for the Maitlands will be held at 10 o'clock a.m. St. Michael's Catholic Church. That's all I can make out.
How did they or a year or anything in it?
In 1958, she wrote the book. I guess the death would have been listed at the top of the newspaper.
Just a little crazy that I'm not finding like anything. I'm not finding people with that name.
I'm just now making out parts of this. It says survived by her son John, was killed last week. That's how it just opened. She was the victim of a hit and run
Oh my gosh.
accident. The driver is still at large. Holy shit. This is terrible. Who drove over this poor old woman?
This is gonna be stuck in my head now.
I'm gonna screenshot the article and send it to you so that you have all the information. I expect you should be in a padded cell by the end of the week.
Yup.
Cool.
I'll call you from there with the answer.
Alrighty. Okay, I thought that was gonna be funny, but it was very depressing. The dude's suddenly wearing Nike sneakers, which is not very Otho. Well, look at that. Isn't that lovely? If you look closely, you can see that she already spray painted the wall and they cleaned it away for a new take. I mean, it's just one of those things you notice when you've seen the movie like 100 times. Let's see what happens if I bump up some contrast. All these like little purple squiggly lines on here from previous takes. See, that's the first take right there, and then this is the second take. Okay, so this is one I'm just curious about. It's just kind of nice to take in all the details of the model. In 4K, you can actually see the craters. And actually, looking at this, there's no trees. It just occurred to me that the opening shot model is not this model. There's the bridge, but I don't think there's enough trees or enough buildings. I don't think it's the same model! Why is this information new? Anyway, on to the Afterlife. I've never understood this dude right here. There's just somebody against the wall in a swimsuit who matches the wall. I don't even know what that's supposed to be. This guy, he's looking way creepier now with the bug eyes. It's gotta be a dummy. I never noticed his gross bone foot. He doesn't have a boot on that foot. So the paperwork in his hands all says, try and lose this one. I don't even know what's going on back here. We got like Johnny Cash right here. Some lady in a Victorian thing. Got the skeletons, both level of skeletons from Super Castlevania. And I'm gonna say the rest of these are either babies or Muppets. This is a sloppy moment here, and I think in the 4K, it's gonna be like brutally apparent. There's the miniature in the foreground. Okay, here's the problem. This first shot of Dante's Inferno, the model whorehouse, clearly a miniature Beetlejuice who looks like garbage. I can't even figure out why this is in the movie. It was not apparent in VHS, also not so much just casually watching it in HD, but when I started cutting this movie up for my fan edit, I mean, like, he's talking in that shot. It's so Pee-wee's Playhouse. Not even Pee-wee's Big Adventure. This is Pee-wee's Playhouse level of weird. They built that in that location. You see him dancing up to it with a bunch of girls standing on it. I can't understand why this shot exists. He's so pudgy too. Look at his big pudgy legs. Something else I noticed while working on my fan edit. I think that's Michael Keaton's script. It's quite possible he just showed up, didn't have this stuff memorized for the brief time that he was involved in this production. Yeah, he kills the bug. It's still there, and then it's gone after that. I mean, I don't know why. Maybe everybody had their scripts stuffed down their shirts when they were shooting this movie. I wanted to check on Lydia's wire work at the end. What's that right there? What's that? See this nasty little guy here? These are the kind of things don't happen in movies anymore, man. I got a text back from my local librarian. She says, I've ripped apart this article, can't find the city they are saying she is from, and I searched all of the book titles listed. I found nothing. Who was this woman? What is this book that she wrote? Where is it all at? We may never know. I bet Beetlejuice's head shrinking looks really terrible in 4K, because it didn't look so great in HD either. I'm pretty sure this was a last-minute change. That black line under his neck. Boy, you know, after you look at him with his shrunken head, his real head looks enormous. Reverend does not disappear, he just stops having light on him. Yeah, he goes up in flames and he's totally still there. Especially like his big hand. His fingers are like wrapped around the Bible. Oh, he's so gross. I love it. Where are you going? Do you need me to marry the two of you? She's in a dress. But doesn't really... Oh, yeah, look at you. Bring up the brightness. That dude's he's just hanging out in that shot. Yeah, they just flipped a switch on a light, posited this fire over, and then he's just still standing there. Well, my first impressions of Beetlejuice in 4K, I mean, you know, if you got a 4K TV and a 4K player, yeah, go ahead and buy it. I would not recommend the Beetlejuice in 4K collector's set. So you can either get the Beetlejuice in 4K Ultra HD, and it comes with a disc, and you can watch the movie. Or you could get the gift set, which comes with collectible chalk. It comes with his flyer, but I mean, I already have the flyer. I printed it out myself in my handbook that I made. I mean, that's cute. The embroidered patch. Maybe you want that embroidered patch. For a difference of a mere twice as much, going from $25 to $50, you can get that embroidered patch.